Alright, welcome back everybody to the long-awaited playthrough. Finally got this finally available. We're allowed to play it now. And that is Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp. Been looking forward to this game for over a year. Got delayed because of the war in Ukraine. But we're finally able to play this. I am going to be a bit critical of this game if it isn't great or anything I don't like. I'm going to be critical of because we waited a whole extra year for it. Andy? That's a big wrench, Andy. But I guess he had a big wrench in the first game too. Yeah, Max. Come, Sammy. I'm pretty sure that's still red, though. I know I'm a bit colorblind, but I'm like 90% sure that this is the Red Star Army, not the Orange Star Army. I said that in my when I played the Game Boy Advance version of this. Boom! Oh wow. That's a big explosion to lift a tank off the ground. Hooray! Advance Wars 1.0. Welcome to Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp. You must be Chris. It is an honor to meet you. Thank you, Nell. It is an honor to meet me.
My name's Nell. I'm
My
a
name's
CO
Nell.
in the Orange Star Army.
The Red Star? I mean Orange Star Army.
Say, is this your first time playing Advance Wars? Oh, it's good to see you back.
Thanks,
One of
Nell.
my jobs is to provide lessons on how to play the game. I also offer strategic advice along the way.
Thanks, Nell. Since you've already played before, you can think of these lessons as more or less a quick refresher. That said, I might show you a thing or two you didn't know, so make sure to listen carefully. Before we get started, let's tell me a little bit about some of the different game modes. Versus mode is for multiplayer. You can play together with friends on one Nintendo Switch console. You can also play wireless with multiple consoles, so long as everyone's got Reboot 1+2. Main gameplay is campaign. There is story of Wars World will unfold as you battle against rival commanding officers. There are other modes too, but I'll tell you about those later. Let's start your training in the campaign. Let's move out. Alright, looks like Advance Wars 2 is locked behind the fact that I haven't completed Advance Wars 1 yet. So we'll take care of that. We're going to start a new game. I'm presuming this is the field training portion of the Game Boy Advance. I'm going to prefer Classic, because pretty good music so far anyways. I'm going to presume that Classic means that I'm just playing on normal mode of the Game Boy Advance. Troop orders. We'll go over the basic troop movement and attack controls in this training mission. Troop orders.
All right, let's get started.
Not digging the cardboard box outline there, or whatever. Alright, let's get started. We'll begin with a simple training mission to get you comfortable with the basics of movement and combat. Take a look at these two orange infantry units. Yes, they are both under your command. This magenta unit, cyan unit, here is an enemy unit. Oh, and the marker here, this is your cursor. Let's move the cursor around. You'll also use this to give your units commands. See the information, more information below. For now, move your cursor over the infantry that I've circled and press the button. Select the unit The area becomes highlighted. This shows you the selected unit's range of movement. Now order your unit to approach the enemy. Boop. After unit moves, the command menu will appear. The only thing this unit can do for now is wait. So select wait.
Yes.
Did you see what happened to the unit? It turns different, turns darker, which means the unit can't receive any more orders this turn, but don't worry, you'll be able to use it again in your next turn. So a couple quick things here before I continue, just to be 100% clear, so we don't get the wrong idea. I had in Advance Wars 1 Tradition, I've already played this portion of the game already. However, my recording software crashed right as I was getting ready to render this video. It means that I have to do everything all over again because I didn't get the audio and only got part of the video. The video I'd intended to be up on the 21st is going to go up on the 22nd instead. I'll also be summarizing some of what Nell says because it's sort of basic stuff. So, now select your next infantry unit. I've circled it for you. Yeah, the enemy unit space has a red highlight. That means it's within attack range. Move the infantry. Since infantry are direct combat units, you'll need to adjacent to your target. Please move your unit next to the enemy and we'll press fire.
Great job.
Now just select fire from the menu and target the unit. You'll notice that you did damage to the unit and that the return fire wasn't as great as the damage that you dealt to it.
Nice work.
But since you initiated the attack, your unit fared much better. When you finish giving orders to unit, it's time to end the turn. Do this, press the A button on empty space, blah blah blah. Map provides all the information and choices you'll need in order to enhance your playing experience. For now, I would need you to select end turn, continue. Man, those guys running up look doofy as shit. Your turn again. But hang on a second, you see those numbers on the units? Those indicate each unit's HP, which means hit points. All units begin with 10 HP, but as they take damage in battle, their HP will decrease. When a unit reaches 0 HP, it'll vanish from screen. Notice your unit currently has more HP than the enemy unit does. That unit attack generally has the advantage. That's why you should pick your battles carefully and always try to fire first. Units also lose some of their firepower when they get damaged, so it's better to fire on an enemy with this undamaged unit. Let's select this one. Another thing that Nell's probably not going to mention in this tutorial is that as you reduce the HP of a unit, its defense also reduces. So a 10 HP unit has a higher defensive number than a 2. You'll see here in a second.
Commander.
You know the easiest way to give attack orders? If I may, I'd like to show you. See the highlighted enemy unit with an attack range, so use quick fire on it by selecting the enemy unit directly. So if you go like this instead, it'll just result in death. So you'll notice that when I had my full HP, this guy right here, and he moved over and attacked, he did like 49% damage. But now that he's at a lower health, his defense is also lower, so I'm doing 53% of the damage. So that's something they didn't explain, but it's true. Also, for the one person that bothered to watch my original Advance Wars playthrough, I over-explained the mechanics in the field portion of this game, so I'm gonna not do that. Congratulations, you've completed your very first field training. I'm so proud of you.
Next lesson?
Are you ready for the next lesson? I sure am. Let's continue along. So no rank that time, that's good. I'm glad that these training missions do not have a rank, because it really drove me nuts that in the field training you could only get up to an A, and then you'd find out later in the game that, oh, rankings actually go up to S. So we kind of tricked you. Lesson 2, Cities and Terrain. Day 1. Looks like the enemy has deployed a mech, or mechanized infantry unit. These units are tougher and can even deal serious damage to vehicles. Luckily for you, I planned for this and gave you a mech of your own to practice with. Infantry may not be able to defeat a mech unit in direct combat, so you may want to use the terrain for defensive cover. They have a disadvantage against mechs, but they're not like, you can go head to head with the mech. It's just not advantageous because it's your infantry units are a little weaker than your mechs. I think we'll start by teaching you how to capture cities. Select this infantry unit. Also notice that Olaf's not in any of these training missions, which is kind of weird, because he was in the original. Circle. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm bad. Neutral cities are colored gray, but they change to match your army color when you capture them. Capturing cities is vital to success on the battlefield, so please attempt to capture and control as many cities as you can. Begin. Please move your unit into the city. Next, select the capture command. This city is now partially captured. It is going to take a bit more time to capture completely. Only your foot soldiers, meaning infantry and mechs, can capture. Each turn a unit spends capturing a city, the city's capture number lowers by that unit's current HP. Be careful not to move a unit that's in the process of capturing a city, or you'll restart capturing it all over again. Same is true if your capturing unit loses all of its HP before the city is fully captured. Do your best to protect the units that are trying to secure new bases as vulnerable. They are vulnerable during this process. Let's select this next unit. This is a mech. I'm sorry. I expect like tutorials to automatically put me on the space I need to be when Willius is playing by old school rules where it's like, hey bitch, do it yourself. Great. Now let's move the unit here and capture. Capture, yay. See how the mech works just the same as the infantry? Good, now select the infantry unit. Oops. Alright, now fire on the infantry unit. Okay, great.
Hey, wanna hear a tip?
You could actually speed things up by holding L or ZR. Give it a try when you fire on this enemy. You know, if I was that concerned about speeding shit up, someone's gonna do it to show it, but if I was that concerned about speeding shit up, I'd just turn off animations. Which I won't do, because that pisses people off. Excellent, now select the infantry unit. You'll notice that this infantry unit, the movement cost is doubled amount, and such terrain offers defensive advantages that compensate for the extra movement cost. You understand better once you fire on the enemy. Go ahead and engage. You'll notice that not only do you take less damage, but the enemy takes less damage. It's crazy, even though you're on the same defensive plane, you both get the same defensive advantage. That's the great thing. This enemy took less damage than the first one you attacked, didn't it? That's because another terrain feature called defensive cover. Defensive cover in this mound is the number shown here. A 4 in case. The defensive cover on planes is 1. Higher defensive covering is, the less damage the defending unit will take. Does that make sense? Great. I knew you'd be a quick study. Now please end your turn by pressing A on any empty space and select End Turn. So if I press this, what is it, ZR button, I can look at the terrain. So as you can see, 1, 2, 4, 3, and then your capital, which isn't on this map, but your capital I think is worth a 5. So here, day 1. So they're gonna fire upon my mechanized unit here in the city. Boom, boom, boom. Ow, ow, ow. You guys got me. Ouch, ouch. Fire. So those of you who've been paying attention to my other playthroughs, I am attempting to break myself the habit of saying dead after every time an enemy is defeated. It's going to be extremely difficult in this game because that's what we're doing. We are killing, removing, however you want to put them. Extra units really pack a punch, don't they? Luckily, even a neutral city still provides defensive cover. Another thing to keep in mind is that movement costs differ between unit types. Those mech units can only move 2 spaces, but wasn't slowed by the mountain terrain. Whenever you need information like this, just place the cursor over whatever you want to learn about and press the ZR button. Easy peasy. Works for terrain features as well as all unit types. Remember, knowledge is power. Good idea to order your units to capture at the start of your turn. That way you can be sure you won't forget to give orders. Let's select this unit. A completely healthy trooper can capture a city in 2 turns. So you have them stay put and get it done. I know we're doing the tutorial. Great work. You're the city now. It's your city now. Notice how it changes colors to match your army. I'll select this wounded mech unit. So this was an idea with no capital on this map, and the point of each mission is typically, not always, but typically you want to either defeat all the units, capture the enemy HQ. You would normally, because there's no way to produce units here, is sort of what I'm trying to get at. I wouldn't finish capturing this. I would actually try to come down, kill this guy. This guy would be free to attack this guy, and this guy could attack. We could lower the HP, and we can get this done in 3 days. But this doesn't really matter either. We're going to end up getting this done in 3 days anyways. Because this unit took damage in the last round, it'll take a bit longer to capture city. Keep that in mind as you defend your troops. Since your unit was hurt, it can lower the capture number only by its current HP amount, leaving it vulnerable to another attack. Let's attack this enemy mech unit instead. Why don't you finish this training while I prepare the next lesson? All you have to do is defeat all enemy units. Pretty straightforward. Like I said, I would have brought this guy down here to attack this guy. You would have finished off this guy, and then if you still had HP, I would attack this guy. But which way do I want to go with this? So I do want to get rid of you. So we'll attack you. And I'll attack you. Yep, that leaves him with 1 HP, that's fine. And then it'll be 2 versus 1 with you being very weak. That's fine. So he's gone now. He'll attack here. So we're gonna so just a quick heads up, I did this wrong my first time I played this, but I wanted to move this guy off because I was afraid he was going to die. So I moved this guy down like this, but then I realized I didn't have enough movement to get to this guy. So what we're going to do is we're just going to stick on the mountains here, and we should be able to, yeah, we'll finish him off here. Alright. So we saved ourselves a turn doing that. Not that it matters, we're just in a tutorial right now. I hope you have a better understanding of terrain defenses and capture techniques. Focus on strategies I've taught you so far. Use them well and victory will be yours. Lesson complete. This lesson will teach you everything you need to know to succeed in combat. Okay, cool. I notice there's only 3 lessons here. I wonder if they're cutting the field training tutorial portion short. I haven't bumped into Olaf either. He was normally in the original training. Looks like the enemy has surprised our forces and damaged these tank units, but don't worry, I'll teach you how to even the odds. We'll need to repair them in order to have any hope of winning here. This unit is badly damaged and out of ammo, so let's patch it up. You select the tank, please. Yes, I will. To repair a unit, just move it to any city or building that you control, even your headquarters. The only city in range, so please move it here. Well, this would be in range if I could move this guy first, but you're going to teach me that later.
Great job.
The tank unit will now recover 2 HP every turn it remains here, provided you have fun. We're not going to mention that, though, because that's too complicated for a tutorial. Tank won't have a chance to recover if we can't stop the enemy tanks from reaching it.
Dear.
And the other tanks aren't in great shape either, oh dear. Luckily, there's a way to regain HP and block the bridge at the same time. I'll show you how. First, select Tank Unit. Now move Tank Unit over here on the other side of the bridge. This is called building a defensive wall. Tank won't last long in its current conditions. Select this other tank and I'll show you how to join them. So the bridge doesn't give you any defense, but neither does the road. The road doesn't give you any defense either, so it doesn't really matter if we would have placed it here or here. I think we just did it because it gets us farther away from this artillery unit, so that's great. Now to move this tank directly into the other damaged tank, they will merge. Move your tank here and select join. Join. See, they were hugging. See, your tank is fully repaired. Excellent work. When 2 units join, they combine HP, and of course, now there's only 1 unit, but sometimes it's better than 2 damaged ones. They also combine their ammo and fuel up to their max. I know the 2 units may seem better than 1 strategically, but running around with low HP is very risky for most units. Also remember, damaged units deal less damage when attacking. Now you've repaired the tank, will be able to hold the bridge. And while that happens, your damaged tank can be repaired. One more thing, when you join 2 units together, it ends their turn. So make sure you anticipate that. You're really starting to understand the strategies of war. Got a few more things to teach you. Great that we have an artillery unit, but there's a problem. Our artillery unit is out of ammo and it's almost out of fuel, too. Yikes. Unit can't fire without ammo and it can't move without fuel. In its current condition, it's practically useless. Luckily for us, we have some transport units available. I'll show you how to use them. Transport units are called Armor Personnel Carriers, or APCs for short. Let's select the APC first. Yep. And now make the artillery unit usable. We'll move the APC unit adjacent and give it some supplies. Supply.
Great job.
Great job. When you supply a unit, it fills ammo and fuel to max levels. This time we've gained supplies to only 1 unit, but APC units can also provide supplies to other adjacent units, north, south, east, and west. Don't forget, you can supply units by placing them in allied buildings where they're also healed. However, transport units are best when you're on the move. Now the artillery is ready, let's go ahead and use it. Artillery is an indirect fire unit, which means they can fire from far without fear of counterfire. Artillery units can't move and fire on the same turn, but the range in artillery is 2 to 3 spaces. And when you know, it looks like we have a target right in our range. Let's go ahead and fire. You'll notice that it does a lot of damage, which is really great. But don't put him in range of a direct combat guy, he'll get beat up. Replacement of indirect fire units is vital to winning battles. Try to keep units from engaging them directly. You will succeed. There are other ways to win too. See the buildings? They are headquarters for each army. We call them HQs for short. If you capture the enemy HQ, you will instantly win the battle. Be careful though, the same rule applies to the enemy. Captures your HQ, so make sure you always keep it safe. Now it seems like the enemy wandered too far off from their headquarters, leaving us an opening. However, mech units won't reach it in time to capture it, so we have a second APC to give us the edge. Select this mech unit and load it into the APC. Then load a mech or infantry unit into a transport unit by moving them into the same space. Go ahead and move it here and then load. Load. Great, now you've loaded the mech unit inside the transport unit. Let's roll out. Let's select the APC unit. Alright, use the APC to transport your troop to provide you with an extra distance you needed. Try moving next to the HQ.
Yes.
Perfect. You could wait here and the mech unit wouldn't take damage while inside the APC, although if the APC happens to get destroyed, both units will be lost. But right now, we need to capture the enemy HQ, so please drop the guy on the HQ. Place mech on the HQ, great. There you go. Now that you have a healthy unit on your enemy HQ, you can begin capturing the HQ on your next turn. So another thing that I don't think she mentions here is that when you drop a unit off from a transport unit, APC, helicopter, lander, which we'll meet those units later, that unit's turn immediately ends. So you can't, at the beginning of your turn, have an APC go drop on top of a property or a headquarters and then immediately start capturing the same turn. Mech unit is in place. Your tank set up a defensive wall and artillery is full supplied. You're doing great. Focus on the HQ and protect the bridge and turn to finish up. Be an easy victory for you. So I said that, just realized this, but I said earlier that I could have either placed my unit here or here. It wouldn't have made any difference. Well, guess what? The artillery unit. Oops. See if I can. Nope. Not gonna let me do. Okay, there we go. Gotta figure out my buttons. You can see this protects this spot along with this one, so it's like a double whammy or however you want to put it. And our turn. Day 1. Alright, great. Blocked it off. Alright, so now what we're gonna do is, for kicks and giggles, I'm just gonna shoot this guy. Doesn't affect anything, I don't think. A lot of damage though. You can finish. You can capture. Next turn you'll finish capturing. What I'm gonna do here is I'm actually going to place the APC. Move the tank back one. I'll place the APC unit here, just so nothing dies, and then we'll finish off our turn next. APC takes big damage, but does not die. You guys are going to be in range. That's fine. And again, we're just going to have a quick giggle. Did it. Captured the headquarters. Bam.
Congratulations!
Your lessons are all complete now. You're ready to take on anything War's World can throw at you. Just in time, too. I'm getting reports that the enemy forces have invaded Orange Star. One last thing to remember. Keep an eye on your stats, but luck plays a small part in every battle. Keep that in mind, and I know you'll do us proud. I'll see you around. Huh. Is that it for the field training? Here. Nice work. With that, your field training is now complete. Congratulations, Chris. How was it? Did you learn something new? Did you know we just covered the basics? Since there's more to learn, I'll stick around to offer advice. Okay, so we're actually going to continue with the field training missions. It's just in a different capacity. Anyhow, looks like we're ready to start with the story. Prologue Campaign Advance Wars. Skirmishes between two neighboring countries, Orange Star and Blue Moon, were thought to have been merely stories of the past. That is, until the day Blue Moon attacked without warning. First, you will guide the commanding officers of the Orange Star Army in defending their territory and fighting to uncover the motives behind the sudden ambush. Our story now begins with Nell, Commander-in-Chief of Orange Star, as she trains a new recruit. ... I wonder who that could be.
Andy, wake up!
Oh, we're going to train Andy. So we've inserted Andy into the tutorial a little bit here. But I'm going to cut the episode here, and when we come back, we are going to do some more, but this time in the campaign, if you will. So, till then, I hope you guys have a good one.